boxing. I like this guy.
He says he's ready for you now at 20 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Excellency, even though he's only 20, he wants that fight now with Usyk and Itauma.
I don't know, this is not good for...
It hasn't been past 6 or 7 rounds. I think the division isn't that strong when it comes to the amount of ability that he has. I don't think anyone else has that amount of actual ability. What he lacks in experience, he makes up for in clear ability.
The buzz around heavyweight boxing just hit a new level. At only 20 years old, Moses Itauma has already forced his way into the spotlight, and his rise has caught the eye of none other than Oleksandr Usyk, the reigning pound-for-pound star and current king of the division.
Alexander, what did you make of Moses' win on the weekend? What did you think?
the great man, the great fight. I think Itauma it's future for boxing. I like this guy.
He says he's ready for you now at 20 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Usyk, a master technician who has dismantled giants with his unique mix of speed, skill, and intelligence, didn't hold back when asked about the young prodigy. He praised Itauma's natural talent, composure under pressure, and
some good fights to be made. That's a consideration. We'll look at it.
Usyk next.
We're going to sit down. We're not making any decisions tonight. We'll consider
fearless approach, calling him the future of boxing. But when pressed about a potential showdown, Usyk didn't need to talk tough. His confident smile made it clear he's ready, anytime and anywhere. That possibility is exactly the kind of generational clash boxing fans dream about. On one side, the genius...
Last fight, Itauma, this good fight. Turkey is good man. This organize more big fighter, more big event. And we see what we do, what next step. And we see what proposition with
champion at the height of his powers. On the other, a fearless powerhouse whose raw athleticism and gifts are shaking up the heavyweight scene. For the sport, it feels like destiny in motion. Promoter Frank Warren has only stoked the flames further, hinting that Usyk may already be considering the challenge. That subtle suggestion was enough to set the boxing world buzzing. If Usyk is even entertaining the idea, it means
the more experience on his side, Itauma.
That's it. Absolutely.
You know, another 4 or 5 fights down the line, then you're looking at an absolute wrecking ball. Then he would beat everybody put in front of him.
But
nobody's going to. Yeah, nobody's
going to. He said Saturday who's going to give him rounds. That's what he was saying. He wanted them out.
Timing could line up sooner than expected. In a sport where opportunities vanish quickly, anticipation for a blockbuster announcement is already growing. Usyk's trusted coach, Sergey Lapin, added a thoughtful perspective. While he praised Itauma's stunning victory over Dillian Whyte and his extraordinary potential, he also reminded
he's a fighter, he's a winner, he's got plenty of ambition, and he truly believes that he can go in there and beat any man in the world right now, and that includes Oleksandr Usyk. Do I personally think it's too soon? Yes, I do. Usyk's he's a different breed, he's a different fighter. Yes, he's getting older.
Everyone that Usyk is unlike anyone Itauma has ever faced. Respect is there, Lapin said, but stepping into the ring with Usyk is a different level entirely. It was both a compliment and a warning. The young lion might be ready to roar, but the jungle still belongs to the master. Respected British analyst and former world champion Duke McKenzie echoed those views. He hailed Itauma as a future wrecking ball who could dominate the division within a handful of fights, but he stressed that right now nobody beats Usyk. For McKenzie, the Ukrainian remains untouchable at the very top. Trainer Dave Coldwell agreed. He admired Itauma's fearless belief that he can beat anyone, even Usyk, but insisted that Usyk is still a rare breed, a once-in-a-generation genius. Coldwell believes Itauma might well be the future king, but the throne today still belongs
to fight Moses if he's 40 already. So maybe the clock is ticking, the clock is clicking, the clock is ticking for Moses to fight Usyk before he's 40. Maybe as well, he won't want to ruin his legacy, but maybe if Turki Al-Sheikh wants to see the fight, put up enough money, maybe he will fight him, and maybe the legacy will be ruined. But maybe if he fights him before he's 40, is the risk
belongs to Usyk. Boxing journalist Gareth A. Davies highlighted what could make this matchup possible. Timing. Usyk is already in his mid-30s, and by the time Itauma fully matures, Usyk could be pushing 40. That makes this a race against the clock. A fight now would deliver the perfect generational clash, an experienced master against a gifted young challenger, both close to their peaks. But Davies also noted the other key factor, money. With the right financial backing, Usyk might take the risk, not just for belts or pride but for legacy. For his part, Itauma hasn't shown the slightest hesitation. Brimming with self-belief, he has already declared himself one of the most skilled heavyweights in the world despite his tender
This year.
Before the end of the year.
Yes.
100%. 100%.
And come on, Moses, give us a name. I know you said
Go on.
the crowd should give us a name, and there's many a contender ringside as well. Who do you want to see opposite you?
Usyk. These lot are saying Usyk.
It's Usyk, is it?
What's the crowd saying? What's the crowd saying? Everyone.
age. He points to his ring IQ, natural speed and power as weapons that could trouble even a technician like Usyk. Still, he shows a maturity beyond his years by admitting that experience matters. He acknowledges he hasn't yet been tested in the deep championship rounds, those grueling stages where legends like Usyk thrive, but in his eyes that's simply another step he's preparing to take. Itauma respects Usyk, but he fears no one. Every fight he accepts, he says, is a stepping stone toward becoming the complete fighter capable of dethroning one of the sport's greatest champions. Whether the timing lines up in the near future or not, the stage is already being set for what could be one of the most compelling clashes of this era. A battle of generations, destiny, and legacy in the heavyweight division.
But at the same time, he may go in there and get absolutely schooled by Oleksandr Usyk. Or he might knock him out. I don't know. But personally, at 20, you know, you got to get it right. And Frank, like I said, Frank knows what he's doing. And I think I'd be very surprised if they...
Eddie Hearn, never one to mince words, summed up the potential clash in blunt terms. This is high risk, high reward. At just 20 years old, Moses Itauma could either shock the world with a sensational knockout or face a harsh reality check against one of boxing's sharpest minds. Hearn emphasized that timing is everything in a fight of this magnitude, warning that rushing could be as dangerous as waiting too long. His words captured the split running through the boxing world. Some believe Itauma is already ready to rise, while others argue Usyk's brilliance would ruthlessly expose his lack of experience. Either way, Hearn predicted, if this fight happens, it won't just be another bout, it will be a defining moment for both men. One analyst, known as the pain expert, was more effusive. He described Itauma as one of the most naturally gifted heavyweights in decades.
Even you look at Lennox Lewis, he didn't fucking move like that for the weight. No way. As good as he was, he didn't move like that. AJ, hell of an athlete, he didn't move like that. Tyson Fury was a good mover for a big bloke. He doesn't move like that. He hasn't got that explosive speed. We're witnessing something so fucking special here. This is the most exciting combat sports athlete, any sport, MMA, boxing, whatever you want to talk about, in the world. And he's 20 years old.
Even comparing him to icons like Lennox Lewis, Anthony Joshua, and Tyson Fury. But he noted that Moses brings something different, explosive speed and agility the division hasn't seen in years. At just 20, he's being touted not only as one of boxing's brightest prospects, but as one of the most exciting young athletes in all combat sports. Veteran commentator John Rawlings struck a more cautious note. He reminded fans of an unshakable truth in mega fights: money always talks. If promoters push hard enough, Usyk versus Moses could indeed become reality. Yet Rawlings stressed that Itauma still needs more seasoning, more rounds, more tough tests before stepping in with a master like Usyk. He praised the Ukrainian as the best of his generation, a man who has proven himself against giants time and again. Still, even Rawlings admitted that the sense
talks, doesn't it? And come on, I mean, it's going to be vast, isn't it? And you know, if Turkey wants it, if the big noises over here, the big money men are moving towards that, then they'll be pushing for that. But at the moment, he needs...
sense of inevitability is growing. The hype is simply too strong. And if handled correctly, Usyk versus Itauma could become one of the defining events of modern boxing. Promoter Francis Warren added another intriguing twist. Speaking confidently, he revealed that Itauma is entering a crucial new phase of his career. He hinted at one more fight before December as the perfect stage setter for a blockbuster showdown by year's end. Names like Joseph Parker, or even Anthony Joshua, were floated as possible opponents. But what really captured fans' attention was Warren's bold claim: Itauma is already ready for the elite, and that includes Usyk. Coming from someone directly involved in steering the young fighter's career, that statement carried serious weight. Warren doesn't believe Moses is just knocking on the door of greatness. He believes he's ready to kick it down. Former world champion Tony Bellew also weighed in, offering a balanced perspective. His one concern about Itauma, he said,
Usyk versus
Maybe one in before December and then a big fight in December.
Joseph Parker, Ajit Kabai, who would you think?
They're not going to chuck names around. I don't think we need to. We're in a great position ranking-wise, but I think he's ready for the big guys now.
Oleksandr Usyk included in
is size. But Bellew quickly reminded everyone that Usyk has already shattered the myth of size, beating bigger, stronger men throughout his career. Bellew sees Itauma as a future superstar, an outstanding talent with everything needed to dominate the division. Yet he also reminded fans that Usyk's technical brilliance still sets him apart. Bellew captured the moment perfectly. This is the present king against the future heir to the throne. Sky Sports commentator Adam Smith shared a view of cautious optimism. He believes Itauma already has the tools to beat most fighters in the division, but when it comes to the absolute top tier, names like Usyk, Dubois, and a select few others, it may still be a touch too soon. That, he stressed, isn't a criticism of Itauma but a reflection of how exceptional Usyk truly is. To beat him, Smith explained, requires more than talent, it demands experience, composure.
Is the size, but ultimately, as we've seen now, size becomes irrelevant because look what Oleksandr Usyk's done. This guy's gone out and beaten everyone, including me. He's exceptional. So I don't think Moses is going to be as technically as good as Oleksandr Usyk, but he's the next in line. I think he's the future of the heavyweight division. I think he's next outstanding.
And the ability to deliver under the brightest lights. Even so, Smith admitted the gap between Itauma and the elite is closing fast. In just a handful of fights, the landscape could look very different. And so here we are, standing at the edge of what could be a generational showdown, the reigning master against a fearless young challenger who just might be destined to take his